Good morning, my friends, and welcome to the second part of Getting Unstuck, the fifth step in walking through the process of moving forward from this time of both discomfort, uncertainty, and also opportunity, as what we usually do with our time, with our minds, with our lives has been unhooked in many ways we never thought were possible. And that can make this an amazing time for getting unstuck, to transform obstacles, whether real or perceived, into opportunities by looking at what's possible and what is under your own control, and to really begin to change some lifelong habits that have held you back under circumstances of stress or setbacks or uncertainty. We practiced some time ago with becoming comfortable with uncertainty, and I hope some of that has stayed with you as we envision going forward into the next stage of recovery from the isolation of this virus and the impact on our lives. Last time we approached this mindfully with a free and open imagination for what it is that you would like to hold on to, that you may have discovered during this time of being unhooked and doing things differently, and bringing that mindfully to life within you as you imagined it. Today I want to offer you, in a brief form, some of the ways that we can get unstuck from our patterns of thinking and responding. As often, most are simple but not easy. And the interesting thing is that mindfulness practice makes every single one of these possibilities more possible, because you're creating that inner space to feel and reflect, imagine, and let go. So let us be seated quietly and gently in the chair where you sit to practice with these meditations. Gently breathing and noticing the length of your breaths as you breathe in and breathe out. I will invite you, as I offer you some ways in thought and action to go forward. And I invite you to consider whatever first comes to mind in your own life that might fit into that particular kind of stuckness. This is an opportunity to get to know yourself more deeply and know what the obstacles are internally that you may need to move through. With mindfulness, change is always possible. From this present moment onward, see how you can sit right now, right here, with curiosity, listening as though this is the only place you could possibly be, because it is. The first way out of stuckness is to consciously shift your perspective. We get stuck because we keep looking at a situation in the same way. Try looking at your difficult circumstance from a different point of view. If it's with another person, imagine the situation from their side and spend time mindfully filling out that picture and yourself in it. Or if it's an attitude that you hold on to with fear or anger, stop and ask yourself, if I was not so angry, how might I look at this situation? What other perspective could I have? Reflect on this. The second way to get unstuck is to focus on what is within your power and control to change. Accept responsibility for the choices you've made, especially those that did not work out very well, and forgive yourself. You can choose how you look at that situation. Choose to see the good that came out of that situation, even though it was unpleasant. And return your focus to reflect on those two things about this situation right now that is under your control right now. The third thing to use in getting unstuck is to simply try something new. The smaller it is, the better, as long as it's in the direction that you would like to go. If there's something you're considering that seems like it has a high risk to it, ask yourself, what is the smallest thing right now that I could do? And when and where can I do it? Trying something new begins to open that door, to crack. And it takes what we talked about the last time. It takes skillful courage. Remember, choose the very smallest thing you could start with. This is important. Otherwise, you stay stuck. The fourth suggestion is to examine your thoughts mindfully and carefully, without judgment, and as they occur in this present moment. What are the messages that you tell yourself about moving forward in an area that seems quite challenging? Are you believing lies that simply aren't true, but maybe based on something that someone told you in your past? The truth is that as you begin to take those small actions leaning forward that we talked about last time, you may run smack into these self-limiting kind of beliefs. If you do, ask yourself, is that true? And how do I know for sure that that is absolutely true about me? The truth is that in a growth kind of mindset, we can begin to accept imperfections and stop seeking the approval from others. Learn to reframe criticism as an opportunity to see what's not working through somebody else's eyes. And come back to your mindfulness practice, living in the present moment, examining your thoughts, and choosing to believe that all things are possible, one step at a time. Change takes intentional effort. So work mindfully on being consistent in the areas that you are working to change. Keep imagining what's possible and do the next smallest thing anytime you can. And speaking of letting go, that's the next strategy I would offer you. Rooted perhaps in our uncomfortableness with uncertainty, we hold on to things long past their days of usefulness. And this can be both physical and emotional, or even spiritual clutter. It takes inner work and a desire to get unstuck in life, and an intention mindfully to move forward. And for those who pray, a prayer for the strength and courage to do so, and to let go of what is old and no longer working. Reflect on something in your own life right now that might fit into that suggestion, something that's been with you for a long, long time. And if it is even partly true, say to yourself, I am willing to let go, even though I'm not sure right now quite how to do that. I will practice and be mindfully aware of how that affects me and moves me forward. And the last thought for this meditation, as we go forward into the next chapter of our lives, remember to slow down. The pace at which we go through life can contribute to that feeling of being very stuck. You are not stuck. Don't let yourself get used to being busy all the time, believing that you have no authority over that. You have a choice to make going forward. And remember, how you spend your time is how you spend your life. Choose carefully and mindfully. Be intentional to leave space open. In that space is where you have the ability to say yes to the next right thing that never was before. Namaste. Amen.